What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord, Dr. Professor, Dark Joker, here with another edition of Traditional Fans with Opinions, where I'll give my reviews for whoever I watched, read, or played today. And who are Traditional Fans with Opinions? That is myself, and that is you, the viewers. With all that being said, on with the reviews. Yaiba Samurai Legend 2025, Episode 23. So in this one, Yaiba has to choose between saving his friends or going for the dragon orb. Basically, he very easily decides to save his friends, and then the dragon orb disappears, and then it appears on his sword. Basically, that was the final test. Basically, by choosing his friend, basically, it's only a samurai of justice could effectively use the dragon orb well without basically turning evil and all that. So Yaiba passes the test. Basically he and his friends get out. So Yaiba has to get through a bunch of the crumbling, like the crumbling, like I guess chamber and all that crap. Whereas his friends are teleported out. Then he appears outside. Onimaru's outside, so Yaiba confronts Onimaru. So they have their fight, which is a very good fight. You see Yaiba using the 7 powers against Onimaru, and then you see like an airship arrive, and it's Kaguya, the Empress of the Moon. Basically, she leads like this bunny race that lived on the moon. Apparently, she has awoken from a 1,000-year slumber, and so now she's awake. She basically is played to become the Empress of Earth, and that's how the episode ends. So yeah, I really like this episode. Really good. Like this, like the visuals from like the fight between Onimaru and Yaiba, how Yaiba's using all the dragon powers. That was awesome. And then Kaguya's introduction. It was great. You have interesting more about it. So hopefully with this, that means like we do get a season 2. Like like hopefully we do get a season 2. Like if they announce, I don't know if they'll announce it when they'll announce. Like if they announce season 2, I don't know when. But yeah, I really like this episode. Looking forward to the next one. Kaiju number 8, season 2, episode 10. So in this one, well, you have like some of Kafka's old work buddies from when he was in cleanup. Basically, one of them, basically was a single father, handing his daughter away to be married. Basically, giving like basically, about to walk right as he starts walking his daughter down the aisle. A kaiju attacks, injures like his daughter's you know fiance, and injures his daughter. And he like tries to make by himself makes a bleed to draw a kaiju, but then First Division, led by Gin Narumi, arrives and kills the kaiju. Arranges for basically medical attention for the wounded. And then we see Soshiro Hoshina straight up wreck a bunch of kaiju using the number 10 suit. Like he's only like I think it's like 77% you know like a like basically like adaptability whatever. And he completely and he's like already rivals how he is in his regular suit. So he freaking wrecks. Like he's just going at, and then Mina's like in this giant gun, ready to basically there's a bunch of giant kaiju going around. Basically, all over country, there's like attacks happening, and then yeah, it's funny. Kaiju number 10 just wants to fight, gets bored fight. Kaiju wants to fight the soldiers, so Host just like, no. Apparently, they're called the comedy duo suit or whatever now. And dude, it's like, I mean, this is bang, bang, bang. Like, it's so Kafka is told he can't transform yet, Kaiju number 8, because basically he's their wild card for dealing with number 9. And yeah, so basically this is like the big, like, fight right now. Like this is like one of the big fights. So this will be a really good thing. I basically like right now we're in the cataclysms like arc. So looks like we're gonna obviously there's still like far as arc there's still two arcs after this current one in the anime. Like you still have second wave arc and last wave arc. So yeah, so we're gonna be in the so this is gonna be a good like fight. So yeah, I really like this episode. Looking forward to the next one. Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy Pieces of the Past. So in this like limited series, so this is a sequel to Rebuild the Galaxy, which was just a freaking cameo fest that well, I will say the first I guess series did have more creativity. It was probably better than a lot of Disney Star Wars we've gotten in recent years. But it still sucks. They just made me a bunch of cameos. Ooh, look, Darth Jar Jar, Darth Ray, Darth Rose. Oh, look, Palpatine's good. Vader's good. Um, Luke is a uh, Luke is a down on his luck racer. So now this season, so with a lot of cameos basically being used in the first season, this sequel series puts more focus on the main on like your main group. You have Sig Grievling and Jedi Bob and Sig's brother Darth Devastator, aka Dev Grievling. So basically Sig's still trying to redeem Dev. Dev's wants to be evil. So you have where Dev goes and meets the Day Witches of Dathomir. So like the good. So basically you have the good versions of the Day Sisters. So like basically good. They're the Night Sisters, but good. So light side witches. Not that we have, we've had light side witches. It's called the Sea Mountain Clan. We've had good witches before, and so basically the Vision guide Dev to Dathomir. Then Sig has visions of Dev, so he and Jai Bob go to Dathomir, and basically like they go there, and basically their fight, like I guess basically they're portrayed as being like Dev and Sig is portrayed as being like a force dyad. Yeah, I basically, okay, here's the thing with force dyads. It's a freaking force bond. Just freaking call it that. 90-Year-Old Republic already explained what a force bond was, and explained pretty well. Force dyad, it's like try and make it some rule of two thing in this in absolutely. Oh yeah, the rule of two is just an attempt to create a force dyad. No, it wasn't. It was to prevent the Sith from basically killing each other off in a civil war. That's what it was. Anyway, basically you have with Sig being light side, Dev being dark side. I guess their clash causes the guy causing him to see visions, Solitus, who is imprisoned in this place called Forcehold. That basically some realm outside of time that Jai Bob trapped Solitus in after he betrayed the Jedi, and so Solitus like escapes, and basically Dev and Sig end up being trapped there. And you also one thing happened before you have like where you have Darth Ray, Darth Rose, Darth Jar Jar. So a lot of the Sith basically they had this thing called Darth Fistler. They had a thing called the Battle Ball, which with Sig from his galaxy recognizes the Death Star, and it was like, oh, he called it Death Star. Why didn't we think of that? But yeah, so that was I guess a fight. So Sig and Dev get trapped in Forceful. They meet like that. Then that's where you have your cameos. All your major cameos. You have Evil Obi-Wan. You have Darth Revan. You have So there's actually an EU character named Jackson from. So he's from what now in the now he has appeared in Disney. So in Disney, his full name is Jackson T. Tomparaki. So in the EU, he was just called Jackson. We didn't see his full name, but Disney did bring him back in like in their continuity in the comics. But he appeared in like the eight, like in the series from like the the eight from like the the really old series from like years ago. So like back when Marvel first did, so when George Lucas still ran Star Wars, the glory days. So you had the comic books. Marvel did a comic book series for Star Wars. Basically, like that was like the main like EU. That one and a few novels was like your main EU stuff. And so basically, in one of the stories that took place in between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, I believe, yeah, Jackson appears. He's like a talking rabbit, and so yeah, so basically he goes there. So and then basically Disney brought him in, and yeah, I not read any of the comics that he's in, but he basically yeah, it's a talking rabbit. That's literally what he is. And so he's brought and and Revan, those are like your two big cameos from the EU. It's like member, member. Yeah. So anyway, so basically like, then like basically there's a whole battle like where so Sig and Dev are able to escape a force hold using their combined power or whatever. And then they go back to help everyone fight Solitus. And Saltus has recruited like the Sith, like his Sith, like the Sith lords there, and then basically given choice, Dev, who Jedi Bob says that Dev is basically irredeemable, he can't be redeemed, and basically like, he says he can't teach him. So Dev, feeling hurt, turns against the good guys and sides with Saltus. Then basically Saltus traps basically everyone in Force Hold, whatever, basically kind of like destroys the galaxy. Then everyone works together to fight, escape Force Hold, and like defeat Solitus. Dev turns good, and you know, uh, and so Solitus is trapped in Force Hold, and basically everyone. So the universe is restored, and everyone who was trapped in Force Hold start inhabits the new galaxy. So basically like also all the people from the pre-existing galaxies who had like survived, basically they were remnants of the pre-existing universes. Like they started having this new universe. So yeah, after not liking the first season because it was a cameo fest, I expected this to be more the same. The only really main cameo fest was Force Hold. Like there's some interesting things they do introduce when they start. So you have a version of, like in the in the real world perspective. So as far as that, at least this is series is concerned. So you have version of Padme that's a pirate. So you have good Vader and Padme had, I don't know if they just dated or if they were actually married. They, I guess, split up, but they had two kids. They had, of course, Luke and Leia. So yeah. So basically you have like this universe. So and of course you still have good Palpatine. You have the Landalorian who was hired by the Sith to hunt Sig. Yeah, when Lando as a Mandalorian, it's not a race, it's a creed. And everyone being like, "Oh look, a baby Yoda. He's so cute." I'm like, He's like his name's Grogu. I was like, okay. I'm like, dear gosh. I was like, okay, I can kind of respect the joke about everyone going out, aw, over Grogu. Me, I'm like, kill that freaking baby. Like, no, I mean, really, if I was given control of Star Wars, one of the changes I would do in new content would be having Darth Vader kill Grogu at Operation Nightfall in the Jedi Temple. But that's just a side comment. I've also haven't killed Reva. Just get rid of a lot of a lot of the characters causing problems. And so, yeah, I thought this was surprisingly decent. It's actually more character focused instead of being a more of a. So I guess since a lot of the cameo fest was done last season in the last series, this one is a lot more focused on your main group that allows more character focus, and it's actually decent, surprisingly. Honestly, this is a explicitly non-canon story. Like they, so and it's yeah, this is a completely different galaxy that like universe than what. Now, this I wouldn't necessarily call this multiverse. They don't this ain't a multiverse. This is like timeline, and it does establish yeah. And one of these rebuild galaxy does do. It actually explains the price of time travel. Where basically you're literally destroying another galaxy and making a universe and making a new one, which is probably how in reality how the time travel stuff works. I mean, if Disney, unless Disney's gonna try to do old full multiverse crap, which is possible, I, like yes, that basically implies if the main Star Wars stuff does would keep that plot point. Basically, that means Ezra Bridger committed genocide when he saved Ahsoka Tano. Just saying, he destroyed the entire universe when he saved Ahsoka in Rebels season 4. That's technically what the whole time travel stuff in this series implies happened. That Ezra Bridger basically killed more people than the Empire combined. Like by himself, killed more people than the Empire. And Ahsoka, when she went back to her time, she also, I guess, we had the butterfly. Like she also, new galaxy created, killed a bunch. So Ezra and Ahsoka, they killed a lot of people in Rebels, and that's how. And so did Sig. Like this establishes that Sig wiped out an entire galaxy. It acknowledges that. Like this acknowledges that, yeah, you literally destroyed the entire universe by doing this time travel stuff. And and now this season, basically they stout look, we can't store we just gotta deal with what we got. And so basically this is more character focused and it's actually better. It's amongst the Star Wars stuff I've seen, probably this is the now I have not seen I'm going through Mandalorian season 3. I have not seen Bad Batch seasons 2 and 3. I've only seen season 1. I did not like Andor. I have not seen The Acolyte, nor will I ever unless I actually have to. This 4 episode miniseries might be the best Star Wars content since Bad Batch season 1. Since Bad Batch season 1, this might be the best we've gotten. A freaking Lego miniseries. What the frick? Now, I did not like Vision. Well, if Vision season 1 was after Bad Batch, then this is the best since Vision season 1. Because most of Vision season 1 was decent. It was fine, whatever. There were some bad episodes. There were some okay episodes of Vision season 1. But this is since 2021 where we had um like since 2021 when we had Vision season 1 and Bad Batch season 1. This has been the best content we've had in the 4 years since. A Lego. This like at least that I've seen. that I have seen. I have not seen Batman season two, so if I end up having to watching those two seasons, seasons two, three, Batman's Lair, maybe my opinion changes. But for what I have seen, so I actually say this is decent. You know, if you want to watch it, watch it. You know, it might end up being forgotten years later. Makes sense. It was I don't think it was marketed very much. It's a Lego thing. They only really marketed the specials well, like the holiday special, which I have not watched. But yeah, I this is this is decent. You know, it's actually watchable. It actually has some good character moments, surprisingly, in a freaking Lego thing. It honestly makes mainline Star Wars look so freaking retarded. It does. I'm like, how does a freaking Lego miniseries have more creativity than you dumb cocksuckers? No, really. I want to know how. You have your comic writers, your TV show writers, your movie writers, your video game writers right now. They're all a bunch of freaking retards. And you have a Lego miniseries that has better writing. Heck, I ain't like the first Rebuild the Galaxy series. I thought it was just a stupid cameo fest. It still had better writing than a lot of what we've seen in recent years. And this, Pieces of the Past, is actually decent. I actually liked it. Like it really just had one scene, one episode. You had a bunch of cameos, and they kind of established how it worked. And you know, now season one, if they had actually expanded that to a longer series, I think they could spread out some of the cameos and actually had good character moments more. And this series could have done the same, but I say what we got was actually decent because they actually focused on characters. So this is a decent show. It's not some home run. It ain't probably gonna be a major rating success. I doubt it because Star Wars can't really make a rating success right now. Like not even Andor was able to have success, and that got a lot of critical praise and decent amount of audience praise. But yeah, the fact that a Lego miniseries is better than basically anything we've got about every anything we got like in the past 4 years since basically since Kenny got the most or one of her contract renewals whatever in 2021. Since then, this might have been the best thing we've gotten since then. That is freaking retarded. And I don't know how much effect Kennedy had on this Lego thing because it's a Lego special miniseries, so maybe she didn't have a big effect. But the fact that this is better writing shows how much of a freaking retard Kathleen Kennedy is. No, really, she is freaking retarded. So is Dave Filoni, Jar Jar. Jar Jar doesn't necessarily works for Lucasfilm. Neither does Ruin Roundhead Johnson. Like, guess what? Dave Filoni, who used to be pretty good with Star Wars. Back. Although I think we could safely say George Lucas deserves more credit for Clone Wars than Dave Filoni. Because if you look at all the really good stuff in Clone Wars, that is freaking George Lucas. That is George Lucas running the company. Now, there are plenty of criticisms for Clone Wars. There are plenty of lore issues, which is why if I was in charge, I would actually erase Clone Wars from canon along with everything Disney's done, and basically then hey we're gonna make a new continuity. It's gonna be predominantly adapting Clone Wars and the expanded universe, Underworld, and George Lucas sequel trilogy. We may use some characters and concepts from Disney, Star Wars, the Star Wars, the whole that 8 issue comic series based off the original draft. And thankfully this falls under Disney Star, so this would be included too. Yeah, so characters, concepts, plan stuff, they could be used if the story works well. So yeah, I would actually be willing to use the Griebling brothers as characters, or maybe the Freemakers. I haven't seen the Freemaker Chronicles. I've heard decent things about it. I don't care to watch it unless I have to. But yeah, I'll be willing to use those characters if they could work. Heck, there are characters and concepts that can actually be used well. But this should embarrass Lucasfilm. The fact that a Lego special is better than basically anything they've done the past few years. That should embarrass them. They should be ashamed of themselves and, you know, basically quit working on Star Wars. Either fix their crap or quit working on Star Wars. Like, I like this show. It does show how badly Disney has screwed up Star Wars. So, yeah, I like this show, but Lucasfilm can go to hell. Mafia Most Wanted. So this is a new documentary series on Netflix about the Drongheta, a crime syndicate. Basically, this deals, a lot of its rise out of Calabria, in Italy, and its presence in Toronto, Canada. And basically, it goes into like how like a lot of like its power structure works, how some of its history and all that. And you have a lot currently. I believe it's available in the U.S. and Italy. So some of it is spoken Italian because obviously Mafia. Those the Mafia is Italian. That's so obviously a lot of them are going to know it. The members are going to know Italian. So this goes into a lot of that. And you see some like how the court cases worked, how like investigations work. So yeah, I thought this was an interesting series. I mean, it's not the like it's a decent series. It's not like some like it. I would say this is pretty. I would say this is good. I mean, I never heard of this game, but I was, listen, watched, documentary. I was interested in how all the stuff with the mafia worked. You know, based on some of the crime dramas I've watched, like Sopranos and all that. So yeah, I like this one. I thought it was a good documentary. The history was interesting. The actual structure and how the mafia works, how the syndicate worked. I liked it. You know, so yeah, I learned that this was a thing today. I never heard of it because I guess Netflix just didn't market it or something. I don't know. Yeah, that's something streamers need to work on better is marketing. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a decent series. So yeah, I'd recommend watching it. Well, and that's it. Did y'all like the stuff I reviewed? And if you have your own opinions about all that, you put all that in the comments. Thank you for watching, and like, subscribe, and all that. And look forward to the next video.